What if your Social Security check didn't show up when you expected it? Millions of seniors could see changes to their November payments, and most people don't even know it yet. These new schedule updates are already confirmed, and if you don't check your date now, you could be left waiting weeks for your money. Let's break down exactly who's getting paid, when, and why this month is different. If you depend on Social Security, SSI, SSDI, or VA benefits, this channel is made only for you. While other channels just chase views and spread half truths, here we talk about the real updates that actually affect your money, your benefits, and your future. So before we start, hit that subscribe button and stay with me because in this family, we make sure no senior is left behind or misled. Now, let's talk about the confirmed Social Security payment changes for November 2025 and why they matter more than ever. Hey there, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. If you're here, it means you're someone who depends on Social Security or, someone who does. And trust me, you're going to want to stick around for this entire video because we've got some seriously important information to share with you today. We're talking about the confirmed Social Security payment schedule for November 2025. And yes, there are some major schedule changes that you absolutely need to know about. So grab a cup of coffee, get comfortable, and let's dive right into everything you need to know to make sure you're prepared and you don't miss a single payment. Now, before we get into the nitty-gritty details, I want you to understand why this information is so crucial. For millions of Americans, Social Security isn't just a nice little bonus check that shows up in the mail or gets deposited into their account. For so many people, this is the money that pays the rent, buys the groceries, covers the medications, and keeps the lights on. It's essential income that people plan their entire lives around. And when there are changes to the payment schedule, even small ones, it can throw everything off balance. That's why we're here today, to make sure you know exactly when your money is coming so you can plan accordingly and avoid any unnecessary stress or confusion. Let's start by talking about the general structure of how Social Security payments work, because understanding the system is really the first step to making sure you get your benefits on time. The Social Security Administration has a very specific schedule that they follow every single month, and it's not just random. The date you receive your payment is actually tied to your birthday, which might seem a little strange at first, but there's actually a method to the madness. The system was designed this way to spread out the workload for the Social Security Administration and to prevent everyone from trying to access their money on the exact same day, which would create chaos for banks and financial institutions across the country. So here's how it works for most people. If you started receiving your Social Security benefits after May 1997 and you're getting retirement benefits, spousal benefits, survivor benefits, or disability benefits, then your payment date is determined by the day of the month you were born. It's a pretty straightforward system once you understand it, and it applies to the vast majority of Social Security recipients out there. The Social Security Administration divides all the birthdays in a month into 3 groups, and each group gets their payment on a specific Wednesday of each month. Yes, it's always a Wednesday. And there's a good reason for that too, which we'll touch on in just a moment. Now, let's get specific about November 2025, because this is where things get really important for your planning. If your birthday falls anywhere between the 1st and the 10th of any month, so we're talking about anyone born on the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, or 10th, then your Social Security payment for November is scheduled to arrive on Wednesday, November 12th, 2025. Mark that date on your calendar right now. Circle it, highlight it, put a reminder in your phone, whatever you need to do to remember it. November 12th is your day, and you should expect to see that direct deposit hit your account or that check arrive in your mail on that date. Moving on to the second group, if your birthday falls between the 11th and the 20th of the month, then your payment date for November is Wednesday, November 19th, 2025. So if you were born on any day from the 11th through the 20th, that's your date. November 19th is when you can expect your money to show up. And again, this applies whether you're getting retirement benefits, survivor benefits, spousal benefits, or disability benefits through Social Security. The key is that your benefits started after May of 1997, which is when this birthday-based system was put into place. And finally, for the third group, if your birthday falls between the 21st and the 31st of the month, your payment date is Wednesday, November 26th, 2025. Now, this is particularly interesting because November 26th is right in the middle of Thanksgiving week for those of us in the United States. Thanksgiving falls on November 27th in 2025, which means your Social Security payment will arrive the day before Thanksgiving. For many people, this is actually great timing because it means you'll have your money available for holiday shopping, family gatherings, or whatever expenses come up during that time of year. But here's where we need to talk about some exceptions because not everyone follows this birthday-based schedule. This is really important, so pay close attention. If you started receiving Social Security benefits before May of 1997, you're on a different schedule entirely. The Social Security Administration kept people who were already in the system on the old payment schedule, which means your payment typically arrives on the 3rd of each month, regardless of your birthday. For November 2025, if you fall into this category, you would generally expect your payment around the 3rd of the month, although you'll want to verify this with the Social Security Administration directly, since holidays and weekends can sometimes shift these dates around. There's another major exception that affects a lot of people, and that's for anyone who receives supplemental security income, which is commonly known as SSI. If you receive SSI payments, or if you receive both Social Security and SSI together, then you're also on a different schedule. SSI payments typically come on the 1st of each month, but again, when the 1st falls on a weekend or holiday, the payment date gets moved to the last business day before that. It's a slightly different system, and it's worth understanding which category you fall into so you know exactly when to expect your money. Now, let's talk about why these payments always come on Wednesdays for the birthday-based system. It's actually a pretty smart piece of planning when you think about it. Wednesday sits right in the middle of the work week, which means banks are fully staffed and operating at full capacity. It avoids the Monday rush when banks are dealing with the backlog from the weekend, and it avoids Fridays when banks are preparing to close up for the weekend and might be understaffed. Wednesday gives everyone the best chance of accessing their funds smoothly without technical glitches or delays. It's one of those little details that most people never think about, but it makes a real difference in making sure payments go through reliably. One of the biggest questions people have is whether these dates are absolutely set in stone or if they can change. The answer is that these dates are official and confirmed by the Social Security Administration, but there are some circumstances where the actual deposit or delivery might vary slightly. For example, if you receive your payment by direct deposit, which the Social Security Administration strongly encourages, you might see the money hit your account a day or two before the official payment date. This happens because some banks process direct deposits early, especially if they receive the payment information in advance. So, if you see your money show up on a Tuesday instead of Wednesday, don't panic and think something went wrong. That's actually just your bank being efficient and getting the money to you as quickly as possible. On the flip side, if you still receive paper checks in the mail, there can be delays due to postal service delivery times. The Social Security Administration mails the checks, so they should arrive on or around the payment date, but weather, holidays, and other factors can slow down mail delivery. This is one of the big reasons why the Social Security Administration really pushes people to switch to direct deposit. It's faster, it's more reliable, it's more secure, and you don't have to worry about a check getting lost in the mail or stolen from your mailbox. If you haven't already set up direct deposit, this is honestly a great time to consider making that switch. Let's talk about planning and budgeting around these payment dates because this is where the rubber really meets the road. Knowing when your money is coming is the first step, but actually organizing your finances around that schedule is what makes the real difference in your quality of life. If your payment comes on November 12th and your rent is due on the 1st of the month, you need to have a plan for covering that gap. Maybe that means keeping a buffer in your checking account, or maybe it means talking to your landlord about adjusting your payment date to align better with your Social Security schedule. A lot of landlords and service providers are willing to work with you if you explain your situation and communicate clearly. The same goes for other bills and expenses. If you know your payment is coming on the 19th, don't schedule automatic payments for the 15th. and then stress out about whether the money will be there in time. Plan your bills around your income. And if you can't change the due dates, at least make sure you're keeping careful track so you don't accidentally overdraft your account. Bank fees can eat up a significant chunk of a Social Security payment, and that's money you can't afford to lose. Another thing to consider is that November can be an expensive month for a lot of people. We've got Thanksgiving, and for many folks, that means extra spending on food for family gatherings, travel expenses to visit relatives, or hosting guests at your home. If your payment is coming on November 26th, the day before Thanksgiving, that's great timing for covering those holiday expenses. But if your payment comes earlier in the month, you'll want to set aside some of that money specifically for Thanksgiving week so you're not caught short when the holiday arrives. It's also worth mentioning that the end of the year is approaching. And for many people on Social Security, that means thinking about annual expenses like property taxes, insurance premiums, or holiday gifts for family members. November is a good time to start planning for December's expenses, especially since December's Social Security payment schedule might not align perfectly with when you need money for gifts or travel. Having a clear picture of the entire November and December schedule helps you make smart decisions about your spending throughout the holiday season. Now, what should you do if your payment doesn't arrive on the scheduled date? First of all, don't panic. There can be legitimate reasons for a short delay, especially if it's your first payment or if there's been some kind of change to your account or benefit amount. The Social Security Administration recommends waiting 3 business days after your scheduled payment date before taking action. So, if your payment is supposed to come on November 12th but doesn't show up, wait until November 17th before you start making phone calls or filing inquiries. If 3 business days have passed and you still don't have your payment, that's when you need to contact the Social Security Administration directly. You can call their toll-free number, which is 1-800-77-21213, and they're available Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. Yes, the wait times can be long, especially around payment dates when lots of people are calling, but it's important to get the issue resolved. You can also create an account on the Social Security Administration's website at www.ssa.gov, which gives you access to information about your benefits, your payment history, and ways to report problems or ask questions. Let me share something really important that trips up a lot of people. If you recently moved or changed banks, you absolutely must update your information with the Social Security Administration. If they're trying to send your payment to an old address or an old bank account, that payment isn't going to reach you. And fixing the problem after the fact takes time. Anytime you have a major life change, like moving, changing banks, getting married, or divorced, or anything else that affects your legal name or address, contact Social Security right away to update your information. It's so much easier to prevent problems than to fix them after your payment goes missing. For those of you who are planning ahead and thinking about future months, the birthday-based system remains consistent throughout the year. Whatever Wednesday your payment falls on in November will follow the same pattern in other months. So if you're a 19th of the month birthday and you get paid on the 3rd Wednesday of November, you'll generally get paid on the 3rd Wednesday of every month. There can be slight variations when holidays fall on Wednesdays or when months have unusual numbers of weeks, but the pattern is pretty reliable once you understand it. As we wrap up here, I want to emphasize just how important it is to stay informed about your Social Security benefits. The system can seem complicated, and there are definitely a lot of rules and exceptions to keep track of, but this is your money that you've earned through years of work and contributions to the system. You have every right to understand when it's coming, how much you're getting, and what to do if something goes wrong. Don't be afraid to ask questions, whether that's calling Social Security directly, visiting a local Social Security office, or talking to a benefits counselor who can help you navigate the system. The November 2025 payment schedule is confirmed, and now you have all the information you need to plan accordingly. Whether your payment is coming on November 12th, 19th, or 26th, you can mark your calendar with confidence and organize your finances around those dates. Remember to consider setting up direct deposit if you haven't already. Keep your contact information updated with Social Security, and don't hesitate to reach out if your payment doesn't arrive as expected. This is your lifeline, your income, your financial security, and you deserve to have it arrive on time every time without stress or confusion. Thanks so much for watching, and if this information was helpful to you, please share this video with anyone else who might benefit from knowing these important dates. Take care, stay informed, and we'll see you in the